This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel this morning. This is your official Lucha Underground review for last night's show, June 21st, 2017. This is week number 2 of the CUETO Cup. Man, last week I took the week off. I really wasn't motivated enough to actually watch the show on time and then give you guys a proper review like I promised you. And I'm going to explain to you why I wasn't motivated after watching last week's episode. I think I got finished watching last week's episode on Monday night after I finished my Raw review. And I'm looking at last week's show, and then I watched last night's show this morning, and I'm thinking to myself, there's a reason why these tournaments are great, but there's also a reason why there's a lot of negative that comes with these tournaments, man. Especially a 32-man tournament. And especially the way Lucha Underground is presenting this tournament so far in the 2 weeks since it's began. And we're going to discuss all that, man. I've been loving Lucha Underground so far. This is my first season, as you guys know. But it's not all positive, and I need to be critical of what I'm seeing so far as the CUETO Cup. So we're going to discuss all that today in today's review. I want to thank you guys for joining me, as always, on the channel this morning. If you want, please subscribe down below. I would greatly appreciate it. The #1 channel on YouTube when it comes to wrestling reviews and previews and news and rumors, man, definitely. So thank you guys so much for all your love and support. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you are notified when I do indeed upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Keep up to date through the channel or with the channel through Twitter. That's the best way to do so because you guys will automatically be notified when I upload a new video. It will push right to the feed. So make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. You guys know the deal, man. Patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. If you guys want to support the podcast, you guys get early access to Off the Script, exclusive rights to my Discord chat, and also Off the Script Retro each and every week exclusively on Patreon and IRWNetwork.com exclusively. You're not going to find that content anywhere else. So if you guys want any of that, those are the 2 places to do so. If you want Patreon, $3 or more will get you Off the Script Retro. And if you want IRW Network, $3 a month will get you Off the Script Retro, where we go back and review old-fashioned, old-school WWE pay-per-views, man. Also, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript for your t-shirts. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go and do that. Get your t-shirts for the summer. We are officially partnered with Barbershop Window and Pro Wrestling Tees, man. Thank you guys so much for that. And as you guys know, Audible is offering everybody listening, which is a new thing for new listeners, man. If you guys already signed up, it's not going to work. So anybody listening that's new to the channel or new to the podcast, you guys get 30 days free to try their service out with 1 free audiobook of your choice. Make sure you guys go through the sign-up process, fill out the appropriate information, and you are on your way to getting your free audiobook courtesy of Audible. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Over 180,000 books to choose from. A lot of wrestling-related content. And if you guys end up canceling your 30-day subscription before the 30 days is up, you get to keep your audiobook for free. That's compatible with iPhone and Android devices, man. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/offthescript. And like I said, new listeners only, man. Thank you guys so much for showing my sponsors the love. Thank you for showing the channel some love. Let's get on with this Lucha Underground review, man. Last week, the CUETO Cup started. Group A. We've seen Group A. The Mac, Pentagon Dark, rather. Tejano and Drago all advanced in the CUETO Cup. You take a look at the brackets and who they went up against, you would probably say, listen, this is a little bit too predictable. So if you looked at the brackets and you've seen those guys' names in the brackets for Group A, you're pretty much thinking, okay, all these guys are going to advance because they are major players in Lucha Underground. So the CUETO Cup tonight continued with Group B. Cage, also last week, punched Councilman Lawrence Delgado in the face. His face exploded, and Councilman Delgado was killed off Lucha Underground. And he did that because Cage has that mythical gauntlet that gives him mysterious powers. and Councilman Delgado was no more. He is done, killed off the show. We start last night's show off with Melissa Santos, and who doesn't love Melissa Santos, man? Oh my God. So Melissa Santos is outside the temple, and apparently Phoenix drives up and looks, I don't know if it was a Corvette or a fancy Cadillac, I wasn't too sure. But Phoenix drives up. Melissa Santos is there waiting for Phoenix in the back of the temple. She walks around the car, and it looks like she has a thing for Phoenix, man. She's got the hots for Phoenix. So he promises to win the CUETO Cup for her. So Melissa Santos is going with Phoenix. He is the favorite of Melissa Santos to win this entire thing. And then Phoenix is like, well, looks like I'm going to have to win this tournament then. I know if Melissa Santos is coming up to me and saying that her money is on me, I'm going to do everything in my power to win that tournament, man, because the CUETO Cup, in retrospect, if you look back at it, if you win the CUETO Cup and you got Melissa Santos also rooting for you, I think that's a little bit more of an incentive than the CUETO Cup, if you ask me. I don't know, man. Just throwing that out there. Marty the Moth, who is one of my favorite characters on Lucha Underground, Marty the Moth creeping in what looked to be an abandoned warehouse across the street. Marty the Moth was doing what he usually does, this psychotic fuck, creeping around in this warehouse. And as you guys seen in the mid-season finale of Lucha Underground, Marty the Moth has this obsession with Melissa Santos. Now, I don't recall what happened on the mid-season finale. She might have gotten into the car with Phoenix during the mid-season finale. We really didn't determine what that was yet, but we see Melissa Santos exiting the temple and getting into a car and driving away. Marty the Moth was creeping. He was stalking. He was monitoring her every move. And then Marty's sister, Mariposa, comes up from behind and ties him up and just leaves him there as the mid-season finale goes off the air. This was one of the things I was very curious about as we went into the mid-season finale and now into the second half of Season 3. Outside of what Matanza is going to be doing, this is my, I would say, second place for storylines on this show. I'm very interested to know why Marty has an obsession with Melissa Santos. I mean, I could see why, but I want to know why. And, this whole thing with Phoenix and Melissa Santos is very interesting because it's a new dynamic and it's a storyline that is added to the CUETO Cup to give it a little bit more of a, I would say, an investment on part of the fans. You're invested because you want to see what happens, and it's a nice little intermingling storyline inside this tournament, which already is just a 32-man tournament to find out who the best in Lucha Underground is. So, Marty the Moth has an obsession with Melissa Santos, and he's going to be in action later on in this episode against Saltador. So we'll talk about that. I love Lucha Underground, man. I really do. But with the good, there certainly is bad. And the reason why I didn't review last week's show is the same reason and the same feeling I got from this week's show. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. You look at the field of men from last week's show in Group A. Every one of those men, you could have logically guessed. If I was to put someone in a room who never watched Lucha Underground before, and I made them look at the brackets and visual pictures of each competitor in last week's matches, you could probably pick who's going to win and who's going to lose. That's how predictable it was. Guys like the Mac and Pentagon Dark, guys like that, they're not going to lose. And they shouldn't lose. But the guys that you're putting them up against, they should squash. They should run through these guys, steamroll through these guys. Same thing happened this week. It's like Lucha Underground is trying to overcompensate and make something overly competitive when it doesn't need to be competitive. Like, what are you trying to prove here? Yeah, it's a 32-man tournament, but half of the field are guys that absolutely stand no chance at winning anything. Anything at all. But Lucha Underground is doing the opposite. They're trying to make this into a competitive field of 32 men. They're trying to give you more than what you should realistically be getting. And I don't understand that. You know? I mean, look at the matches this week. Cage versus Vinny Massaro, bro. Bro, you just came from the fucking streets of Italy. You got ripped jeans. You got spaghetti sauce on your fucking wife beater. You got the greasy hair, bro. What did they overcook the meatballs for you, bro? What happened? What kind of sauce was it? What was it? A 4 cheese sauce? Was it just a plain red sauce? You know, nice some pepper, some salt. Did you season it with anything? What kind of sauce, bro? Cage versus Vinny Massaro, really? Marty the Moth versus Saltador. Guy comes out dressed like a fucking checkerboard. Seriously? Pindar versus Masquerita Sagrada? Why should I believe Masquerita Sagrada stands any chance of beating Pindar, or at least even being in this tournament? I don't get it. The one match here that served as anything, you know, was Phoenix and Mariposa. Because at least it gave us, oh, what if Mariposa wins, right? If she wins, she goes on to fight Marty the Moth in the next round. Plus, you got the whole Melissa Santos, Phoenix, Marty the Moth storyline, where Marty the Moth is stalking Melissa Santos. You know? But there's no reason, you know, I want to do an in-depth review. I like overanalyzing things. I like diving into storylines and giving you the possibilities of what if this happens or what if that happens. But we're not going to get that with Lucha Underground until we get down to a field of 16 or a field of 8. Because right now we're in the weeding out the weak process. But Lucha Underground is trying to overcompensate by giving us 9-10-minute matches with Masquerita Sagrada and Saltador. And Vinny over here, Massaro. Are you kidding me? There's no reason for me to believe these types of guys even stand a chance. Like, Cage should have fucking decimated this guy in seconds. Seconds. Marty the Moth versus Saltador. Have you seen Marty the Moth and the size of this man? He is a sick, psychotic fuck. This guy should have fucking dominated this guy. Match went close to 10 minutes. Pindar versus Masquerita Sagrada. Masquerita Sagrada is a tiny individual. Pindar is 3 times the size of Masquerita Sagrada. Guy's fucking big. And they're making a competitive match with a midget versus Pindar. Come on, man. Man, I understand all the wackiness. I understand the fucking just completely out there atmosphere that is Lucha Underground. But at the heart of the matter, it's a wrestling show. What they're doing in the ring is wrestling. You're putting wrestler A versus wrestler B. Who's the best? But when you put Pindar versus Masquerita Sagrada in a match, why should I believe in any way, shape, or form that Masquerita Sagrada is going to beat Pindar? It makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. So let's go back to the beginning. Cage versus Vinny Massaro. Cage hit him with a Steiner screwdriver. Massaro, gone. Vinny got the power of the meatball. He got a nice STO on him, but that was it. Like a dumbass, you know, maybe all those meatballs and ziti went to the head. He goes to grab Cage's gauntlet, and he tries to use it on Cage. Cage cuts him off, tosses him halfway across the ring, hits that Steiner screwdriver for the win. After the match, Cage puts on the gauntlet and busts open Vinny, bro, with the gauntlet, starts punching him in the head, and chokeslams him on the floor. Cage dominating. Match should have ended. The match went 4 minutes. The match should have went 1. Should have ate him alive. He should have devoured that ziti and meatball like I know Cage can do. You know? Give me a break. Marty the Moth versus Saltador. Again, this match went close to 8 minutes. Why? You know? I enjoy Marty's work. He's a sick fuck. He's a very believable character. He's a large man. But there's no reason for me to believe that a guy like Saltador is going to be challenging for the Lucha Underground Championship. Doesn't make sense to me. There was a nice spot here in front of Melissa Santos where Saltador tried to jump over the top and do a head scissor takedown to the floor. Marty caught him and powerbombed him right into the fucking steel barricade. Beautiful. Right in front of Melissa Santos. And he's there licking his chops. He's looking over at Melissa. Fantastic. But in the end of this thing, Marty hits a German suplex and an exploder to the buckles. Saltador tries to get a roll-up. He starts dancing. And then Marty catches him with a double underhook gutbuster for the win. Marty the Moth, as he should, and it should have been in half this time, he beat Saltador. Marty the Moth advances. Again, no real drama to this. There's no reason for me to say, holy shit, Saltador's got a chance here. There's no drama. There's not going to be any drama until we get down to a field of 16 or field of 8. You know? Right now, in the 8 matches that we've seen for this tournament, there's not one match that makes you care. And we're not going to care, like I said, until we get down to half the field. Just the way it is. I don't want to be negative about the Lucha Underground product, but this aspect of it doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you trying to overcompensate by being competitive here in matches that should not be competitive? They should be completely one-sided. Just my opinion. Marty, backstage, creeping. He's got a fucking sick, sadistic mural of Melissa Santos on the wall in the back. He got a fucking light from the ceiling flipping back and forth. Marty's got all these pictures, right? He pulls out a picture of Melissa Santos from his tights. He starts sniffing the picture, starts making out with the picture. He licks the picture, puts it on the wall. Then he opens up a music box playing some creepy fucking song. He pulls out a little canister with a big M on it. I thought it looked like makeup. I read that it was actually strands of Melissa's hair. He's sniffing Melissa's hair. This is a sick fuck, and I love it. I love every part of it. So he sniffs Melissa's hair. Mariposa comes in and reminds him that family comes first. This obsession with Melissa is making you weak. She says that she will win tonight, and when she does, it's going to be her versus him, brother versus sister, in the next round. Mariposa slaps the shit out of her brother. And for some odd reason, some bizarre reason, Marty starts laughing. He enjoys it. He enjoys the punishment. They get close as if they're about to fucking kiss. Sexual tension over here. Marty's one fucking horny motherfucker, man. I'll tell you. But it's got me interested. It's a nice little intermingling storyline within this tournament. That's what they need. We need more of that and less of these fucking competitive matches with superstar versus bum. Pindar versus Mascarita Sagrada. Again, this match went 7 minutes. For what? Pindar is a mountain of a man. Thick. No reason why Mascarita Sagrada should have even lasted 2 minutes with this guy. Like I said, I understand the wackiness and the fucking luchador and the craziness and the unpredictability and the just different presentation that Lucha Underground offers. But when I see a small person like Mascarita Sagrada versus Pindar, there's no reason for me to believe that Pindar is going to lose. Like, why did this go so long? You're making it way too competitive when it doesn't need to be. You know? Mascarita Sagrada got some offense in on him. He's lucky he got fucking anything in this match. I don't care who he is, where he came from, what his history is. I don't care. This is for the Lucha Underground Championship. There's no reason for me to believe Mascarita Sagrada is going to challenge for the Lucha Underground Championship. That's why I love tournaments, but a field of 32, when Lucha Underground doesn't have that deep of a roster to begin with, a little crazy. Little crazy. So this went way too long, way too competitive. Matches like this should be dominated by the much larger man. I'm sorry. Big X Factor by Pindar for the win. And Pindar advances in the CUETO Cup. Phoenix versus Mariposa. Obviously, this is a storyline here, like I told you. Mariposa is the sister of Marty the Moth. Phoenix has the heart right now of Melissa Santos. Lucky fucking guy. Right? Melissa Santos is over there clapping and cheering and blowing kisses. You know? I don't want Lana blowing kisses. I certainly don't want Eva Marie blowing kisses. But Melissa Santos, she could blow a kiss at me anytime, bro. Anytime. We got Phoenix offering handshakes and being very lackadaisical. You know, he's kind of got that dick-like attitude, like, I'm the man, you're the female, I'm gonna win, you pose no threat to me. But Mariposa got her shit in. She got a beautiful tornado DDT that landed Phoenix right on top of his head. She got a nice bulldog in on here for a nice 2 count. Phoenix then comes back with a release German suplex. Phoenix went for a power bomb. Mariposa counters that into a code red, which is one of my favorite moves, man. I always love seeing a code red. You know, it's John Cena's new favorite move. But that was a 2 count. You know, it was a competitive match. It really was. You know, where a lot of the women, they go into these competitive matches and it's all fluff. A lot of these women get into the ring and it's all fluff. It's all weak. There's no intensity behind anything that they do. And you can see that from NXT to the main roster in WWE. Even when I'm watching the women of House of Glory fight, it's not as intense as it should be, you know? Mariposa is one of those females that is intense. She does a move and it's impactful. She throws a punch and it's impactful. She takes a bump and it's impactful. Same thing with Ivelisse. That's why Ivelisse and Mariposa are probably my 2 favorite females in Lucha Underground. I don't like Sexy Star because I think she's part of that fluff. Anything she does, there's no intensity behind it. You know, I don't believe. Mariposa, I believe. Ivelisse, I believe. Asuka, I believe. You know? But Phoenix in the end here hits the Phoenix driver for the win. Laid out Mariposa at 6 minutes. That's okay. Okay, Mariposa and Phoenix, that's okay. Still, I don't like the women versus men dynamic. But, again, I don't believe a female is going to beat a man. Especially for this. But that's just me. It was a fun match. Average. The main thing here is that Marty the Moth now going one-on-one against Phoenix. This is going to play into the whole Melissa Santos thing. So that's the next match. In the second round, it's going to be Phoenix versus Marty the Moth. And that Melissa Santos factor is going to come into play for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. After the match, Marty came down and beat down Phoenix. Phoenix fights back, clears the ring of both Marty and Mariposa, does a big suicida over the top and to the floor, wipes them both out. Melissa Santos cheering on, and she's proud of what she's seeing there. All smiles for Phoenix, man. That sexy smile of Melissa Santos. So that's the way the show went off the air. But I hope you guys watching who are Lucha Underground enthusiasts, or even if you're not a Lucha Underground enthusiast and you just watch for the simple fact of watching, I hope you know where I'm coming from. A lot of these matches, they should be squashes. We're not going to get a real CUETO Cup until a field of 16. When half of these guys, the weakest parts of this tournament, are weeded out, that's when the tournament's really going to begin. That's when the competitive nature should begin. That's when we are going to get the best of the best in Lucha Underground. Right now, it's just week after week so far. The last 2 weeks are just, you know, autopilot mode. Let's get through these first couple of rounds. Let's get the bigger names to the next round. And when we get down to a field of 16, that's when it's really going to pick up. That's my opinion on everything. That's my take on it. And I feel like we're going to see the same shit next week. And I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to end up repeating myself next week. So that's the review, guys. If you enjoyed the review, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below with that bell for the notification. And I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. with your Off the Script episode 175. I'm JD. Have a great Thursday, and I will see you all tomorrow morning for Off the Script. Talk to you later.